Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, today we're going to talk about preparedness and how you prepare for preparedness. Seriously though, we're going to talk about preparing in the sense of making the right decisions to not broadcast all your preps, your location, and too much information. And I'm really focusing more on kind of an online thing. Also, and talking with people and how to not give away too much information. And I see that so much. And so I want to discuss that with you. Before I get started, number one, we have the meeting date nailed down. It took a little finagling between us and the people that run the facility, and they had some dates already locked in and stuff. So I wanted to have it towards the end of September, and that did not work out that way. It looks like it's going to be October 3rd, which is a Sunday, the first Sunday of the month. October 3rd, it'll be in the same time, the same place as always. And as we get closer, I'll talk about that a little bit more. For those of you that are regulars to the meeting, I'm probably going to be sending out an email or two because I have an idea for this meeting, and some of you might be able to participate and help if you're willing to. So be expected to hear from me in that sense. I also want to say again that we're getting kind of close to 50,000 subscribers on the channel, and my wife and I are planning a big giveaway live stream. We'll do a live stream and give some stuff away, and we've got some pretty cool things already purchased, and we'll be getting some more stuff. We have some ideas, and we're going to be getting some more. So I think it's going to be pretty cool. There'll be several prizes, and you basically, to qualify, is you have to be in on the live stream when we do it. So we need to get up to 50,000, folks. If you are not subscribed, if you wouldn't mind smash that subscribe button down below. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. It's not painful. I mean, other than having to look at my face every once in a while when you watch a video. I get it. That's probably not always pleasant. But the point is that it's not that big a deal to subscribe. And here soon, I would say in the next, couple of weeks or so, depending on how fast we get to 50,000, we will be having a cool giveaway live stream show. All right, so let's talk about, giving away too much information online. I've always said that the average person, run-of-the-mill average person, is a pretty trusting person. The average person has a deep desire to just do good and to trust others, and are just genuinely a decent person. I think that's average. There's always extremes. There's always, different people, but on average. And the problem with that is that with the world that we live in today, that kind of thinking is going to get you into trouble. When you're online, you can't be talking about all the stuff that you got. You can't be talking about how well you're prepared and all your details of your plans. You certainly don't want to be talking about any kind of locations or even things that could allude to where you're at. The best you're going to get out of me is I live in the Ozarks. That's it. I live in the Ozarks. That's a pretty big place, like 41,000 square miles or something like that. Or maybe, I can't remember. I know it's slightly larger, I think, than the entire state of New York, the Ozarks region. So that's the best you're going to get out of me. And most of you that are around here in the Ozarks, they kind of get an idea of where it's at, what part of the Ozarks, and they get within, an area. But I'm very particular about not giving away information. In fact, so much so that I don't even show anything in my videos that would help you figure out where we're at. And there's a reason for that, and I'll tell you that here in a minute. I'm sure you've already got a good idea, but I'll tell you. I see often, though, going back to the actual stuff that you have, I see it way too often of homesteading preppers in different, internet groups and chat rooms and message boards and things like that, giving away too much information. They'll get in there and they'll talk about, canned foods, and they'll show pictures of their stuff, how much food they have. Or they'll talk about, oh man, yeah, we've got 100 buckets pasta put away. That'd be a lot of pasta, but we have 5 freezers full, 5 20 cubic foot freezers each, 5 of them just packed full. Oh man, I've got probably 25,000 rounds of ammunition, things like that. You got to be careful with this. I'm not saying you just can't say anything, but you really need to be careful with specifics. You need to be careful with location and specifics and intent. Intent is always important, because in most laws, all you need to prove is intent. It doesn't mean that you even have to commit some type of crime. If you can prove that there was intent, then they can, twist something sometimes and say you're guilty of it. You have to be careful of this, because we live in a different world than most of us grew up in. The intrusion upon our privacy has been going on for a long time. The technology has existed for a long time. They're utilizing it now more than ever. And not only are they utilizing that technology more than ever, they are being very public about what the people in charge, what they deem as dangerous people. Just in the recent months, the language that is being spoken by leaders of our government, by people in the media, and just really by American citizens, a lot of Americans online, the things that they're saying about folks like you and I, it's a little worrisome. DHS, Department of Homeland Security, our president, I think the Secretary of Defense, have all made statements kind of in the way of, or put out statements, whether they verbally said it or released the information, that the greatest threat to America, or the greatest threat to the military, are patriotic extremists. These extremists here in America, these people that are a little too patriotic, that we are the most dangerous threat, that these crazy people. And I know a lot of you are probably hearing that and you're like, well, wait a minute, I may be a prepper, I may have some guns, I may be super conservative or very traditional or whatever, but I'm no extremist. I mean, those are like the really crazy people that you see in the movies and stuff. Folks, you need to look into what they're describing, maybe not officially, but just in the stuff that we're seeing online of what they feel an extremist is. And it's not someone that's, living in a bunker surrounded by C4, making, violent plans. They're talking about people that grow their own food and that, support the Second Amendment, or that don't fall in line with the current health crisis narrative, or that, believe in life and believe that you shouldn't get this, or, all these other things that, they wave a flag. I've even seen reports, that if anyone that would that wave a Gadsden flag, the yellow "Don't Tread on Me" flag, is a sign that they could be a dangerous person. Even social media, Facebook, it's just been going around for quite a while. They put out these warnings. Are you affiliated? Do you know if this friend that you have or this group, they could be influencing you about, violent extremists? It's funny that I see all that stuff happening to other people. And I do have a Facebook account that I use for the channel predominantly. And whenever I get on Facebook, I don't ever see those warnings. Maybe it's me that they're warning about. Maybe I'm not getting the warnings because I'm the one that's being warned of. I don't know. Anyways, this is the world we live in. And so because of that, because of this danger of them, collecting massive amounts of data, information on us, and then trying to twist that to fit their little narrative, that people that prepare, that people that live off grid, that people that grow and raise their own food, people that homeschool their children, people that store up, food for bad times, people that own firearms, people that go to church, or people that believe in the Bible purely and completely and wholly, people that, believe that life is protected, all these other things like that could be a danger and a threat. Because of that, you need to be careful about what you say online. You need to assume that everything that you say online, everything, every conversation, anytime you get online, anything that you do, anywhere that you go, no matter what you click on, what you watch, what you purchase, anything, you need to always live under the assumption that all of it, all internet activity, is being watched by someone, or it's being collected by something. In fact, I would even go so far as to say that even if you're not actively online and you just have the device in your pocket, like your phone, that you still should not consider yourself safe and be in, a private conversation. They collect everything, folks. They've been doing this for years, and it's getting bigger and worse. The biggest difference is that 10, 15 years ago, when it was being collected, it was, actual human beings, going through data or listening to things or whatever. Now it's all being done with AI. AI software is collecting this stuff, and the AI itself is determining, and we've turned it over to computers. That's what's determining if your internet activity could present a risk or danger. And so because of that, you've got to be careful. You got to be careful about your location. There is a reason why you don't see the house that we live in. There's a reason why I show very little. And I know I'm rare in this. I know that the vast majority of these prepper homestead channels, sorry, I think I had a little gnat or something fly up my nose. The joys of being in the woods. Yes, not a green screen, actual woods. I know that I'm unusual in this. The vast majority of these other YouTube channels, you do see glimpses of where they live. You see glimpses of what they have around their house, and some even show more. Like they actually show you, yeah, here's our preps. This is our food. They stand there and they have all these guns lined up. Yeah, there's some of my guns. That may not be all of them, but there's my guns. That kind of stuff. You're never going to see that with me. I know a few things. I've worked for certain people. I'm not saying that I've been in some kind of deep intelligence, but I know I've seen the kind of stuff that they collect on people. A little bit. I've seen a little bit, and it was enough to know that nothing you say and do is safe. And then as far as showing too much online, while I may talk, I'm pretty careful about what I say, and I know that the government, if they want to find me, they know how to do that. That's not really what I'm worried about in that sense. It's regular average people. I know for a fact that I know for a fact that there are other YouTube channels. I know of one or two. One in particular has told me personally, and they're a bigger YouTube channel than I am, much bigger, a lot bigger, and that people have shown up at their doorstep, like actually knocked on their front door and said, "Oh, we love watching your channel. We watch you all the time. And we were driving around and we saw your house. We just knew this was your place because we recognized it from your YouTube videos." I don't want that happening here. I'm pretty private. If I know you and I like you and I welcome you into my home, you will be protected and treated like royalty. If I don't know you, and especially if I don't like you, it's probably not a good idea to show up randomly on my property. It won't go very well. You will not receive a warm welcome if you're not invited. I'm sorry. I'm very protective. It's just how I am. I'm not doing anything that that's wrong. I'm just very protective of my family. And you should be the same way. Neighbors are a little different. I get to know them. If my neighbor shows up because he needs help with something, that's a little different. You all know that. The fact is that it's not that hard to figure out where someone lives. If you post a picture of your house, you post a picture of your farm or something like that, it's not that difficult to kind of put it together. And if someone is really devoted, they can figure out through the conversations that you have, doing a little stalking of maybe a Facebook account or a Twitter account, take all those pictures and kind of come up with a pretty close general area as to where you live. Same way as if you're a ham radio operator and you put your ham radio license ID number, your call sign out. There's ways to figure out exactly where you live based on your call sign, and it's not difficult. Be careful of that. It's not so much anymore the government that you have to worry about. Certainly they are. Certainly the government is collecting information. They're collecting all this data on, how much food you have and where it's stored and what you're planning on doing with it. But you also, this is different. You have to be wary of just individuals and these radical groups that's formed and how their intent is to prey on people like you and I. And because of the internet, because of the capabilities out there to look things up and to look people up, it's not that hard anymore to figure out where someone lives and what they have. And if you're online and you're showing pictures of your 5 freezers full of beef, or your bunches of shelves of canned foods and stuff, you're setting yourself up for them to be able to collect all that. And then you never know at what point it might come back at you. Maybe they show up at your door and there's been food shortages and there's massive shortages and lockdowns and mandates, and we're collecting because the government can do this. If the right emergency orders are issued, we're collecting food because there's not enough. And we know you have a lot of it. We know because here's your Facebook posts. There was something I saw the other day, a video someone posted that FBI agents showed up at this guy's house. He wasn't under arrest. It never went into great detail about what they were asking, but apparently this guy was in some Facebook group or communicating with some other person on Facebook, and this other person or other group is kind of maybe what they're deeming extremist, and they just showed up to his house to ask him some questions about it. This is the kind of stuff that's happening. You need to protect yourself, folks. Quit believing that just everyone in that prepping group that you are online talking with, that they're all actually preppers, or that they're all actually the same kind of people, like-minded people like you. There could very easily be some kind of operative in there collecting data. There could just be random trolls in there that's keeping quiet, and they're collecting data, and they're giving it to their Antifa buddies or something like that. You need to be careful, folks, of the information that you're releasing online, because it all gets collected. All of it. Everything you say gets collected. Everything you do, every action you take, every place you go, no matter what little dark corner of the internet you're at, someone is watching, or at least something is watching you. So be careful of that. It doesn't mean that you can't communicate. You just need to use different ways to communicate. And maybe you can say, yeah, we've got a bunch of, canned foods and stuff, but maybe you don't need to say, we've got 10,000 cans of soup, because you never know who's got that information and what it might be used for in the future. So folks, just be careful of your presence online, and be aware, because this world is changing rapidly, and you and I are not the favored people anymore because of our ideologies. All right, folks, thank you for watching. Catch you in the next video.